I'm Aaron Graber with Ventrac. Today, we're here with Tucker on his property, and we have a whole bunch of Ventrac machines. We're gonna do a little bit of work today, highlight some different jobs that we can do on these machines. But this is a special property because this is home to a special edition tractor. You actually see it in the back here, the all-black Ventrac from 5 years ago now. Tucker's owned this machine for 5 years. It lives here with his other Ventrac. You have two on the property, correct?
Two of them.
We brought a couple tractors with us as well to show on this property. So thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming out.
Can you tell us about this property?
Yes, so we've owned this property since about 2018, and the way it looks now is not what it looked back then.
I can imagine.
The banks were overgrown. We used a lot of hand trimming around the banks, which took a lot of time, and there's not enough time in the day to get that done.
Do you know how many linear feet it would be around the pond? I mean, it looks like a huge stretch.
Right, it's a 7-acre pond. I don't know the lineal footage around it, but I think it's close to maybe a half a mile or a mile around the loop around the outside.
Yeah, so it would take forever.
Yeah, so
to
forever.
do with hand labor.
Yes. So then after that, we try to do a little bit with a zero turn, but that got very dangerous on the slopes. My wife's family has some Ventrac machines, and they brought one of their machines over, and we realized we could actually start maintaining the banks again. So we borrowed a machine from them, then we had to give it back.
Yeah,
okay.
they need it.
Yes, they wanted it back. So we went out and decided to go and looked at a couple different machines and decided to go with the Ventrac because of all the different attachments it had, the way it mowed, and how versatile it was to this piece of property.
I did notice one thing. We've already been operating a little bit today. Driving through your backyard, I had a pallet of landscape mulch on, and not the heaviest thing in the world, but also not terribly light. And the tractor is, probably twice the weight of a zero turn, but half the weight of construction equipment.
Right.
I did notice one spot. I was like, man, I don't know. I'm okay doing this, and I feel comfortable with the tractor, but there's not a lot of machines I would want to concentrate. Those pavers that you have going from the house to the other house, they're in the grass, they're stable, right. But if you put too much pressure in one spot on those, you could crack them pretty easily.
Oh yeah, those definitely are walking pavers.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we like the duals. With the dual tires allows us to go on any banks, let's go over the grass. You can get on the grass very early in the springtime.
Yeah.
We have a zero turn that will mow, but we can't get out really early in the springtime for that zero turn because the grass is so wet.
Yeah.
Where the Ventrac makes almost no marks at all.
Yeah, and that's really our message has always been, we're not the only machine that exists, we're not the only machine that you need, but for a lot of stuff, it is the exact machine you need. And in that case, the duals, they let you go over terrain, they protect the turf underneath. I mean, I didn't have any concerns driving on, normally I get really nervous on a property that looks this nice. I'm like, I don't want to mess anything up, I don't want to do anything I shouldn't do, but I don't feel bad at all on duals driving across a yard like that because I know I'm not going to leave any ruts, no matter how much moisture is in the ground. I know I'm not going to destroy turf. So it's kind of like peace of mind when you're operating on a machine like that.
Oh yeah, and coming over here, we just came over freshly hydroseeded areas, okay? Yeah. That we had no problem driving over top of it with 4 machines getting here because you're not worried about what you're gonna disturb underneath because you have a low pressure on the ground.
Yep, didn't break traction, didn't rip anything out.
Right.
And you can kind of keep your progress so that you don't destroy anything. That's half the battle on a property like this is you're always in motion doing a new thing, and you can tell you got a lot of projects going on here. You don't want to undo work that you've already done.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of other equipment too. So you got the Ventrac. What other stuff are you using to take care of a property with all of these different things on it?
Well, we have a zero turn for some of the flatter areas, and then we have a mini excavator for the bigger rocks, getting stuff around, doing drain lines and stuff like that.
Okay. Even driving in, there's some access roads. The main drive is a lot of gravel until it gets to be paved.
Right.
So there's a lot of like edge maintenance and things that are going to continue to be an issue over time. A machine like this has, like you said, different attachments. You can do different things. You're working right now to kind of make this property into something new. It was totally different when you showed up, all wooded and overgrown. You were saying. Like, what's been the most challenging thing to get it to where you want it to be, and then also, what makes it hard to maintain on a regular basis?
Well, actually, the most difficult thing was not cutting down the trees, but getting rid of the stumps.
Oh, yeah.
And getting rid of the stumps on a slope. Okay. Yeah. And we decided, we tried to dig a few of them out, but the holes got so big. So that's why we got into the Ventrac Stump Grinder, because it allowed us to grind over them real quick. And the rough cut was great for opening up around the outside edges of the property, because we had a lot of grapevines here, we have a lot of brush. Yeah. And then once we actually got it all maintained, we were able to start mowing.
I think probably the last job that we could talk about, because it's this time of year, I mean, 'tis the season, looks really beautiful with all the colors changing, but you're only a few days, maybe a couple weeks away from having a lot of work on your hands.
Oh yeah.
So I know you have the turbine blower for that reason. First, tell me, Do you think it's even possible to tackle a property like this without a blower that big?
No, that's definitely not. We blew some leaves off this morning and it took maybe a total of 10, 15 minutes to blow it off the property.
Yeah.
So that is very useful on a property like this, especially when you're moving a lot of leaves over a large area. You can blow them out into the woods. So we've used that. We also use it in the winter time. Sometimes we'll go blow some snow across, move the snow across the driveway and stuff with the power broom.
Yeah.
Then we've also used it a very obscure use. We're involved in a group and we have tractor pulls. Yeah. Well, in the middle of one of the tractor pulls, we had a rain delay. And we use it to blow water off the track, so then they go back to tractor pulling.
Yeah, that's actually one of the most common things that we'll hear from Ventrac owners. We get on site, everybody's property is different. Right. You know, everybody's in a different region, they've got different parts on their property, different jobs they're doing. But the most common thing I hear is, I use this thing the way that you'd expect, and also in this other obscure way.
Yeah.
Like everybody has that weird thing they do with their Ventrac that's like, oh, never really thought about that, but that's great, that works for it. Okay, so you mentioned that you initially tried mowing some of these banks with a zero turn, maybe some other equipment was used, handheld equipment, that sort of thing. When you finally got on the Ventrac, and that's what you've been using since,
right.
What was it like to transition from operating that other stuff to operating the Ventrac in those areas?
Well, so any bit of slope on a zero turn, you started feeling that back end get a little bit loose on you,
yeah.
Which was a very unsettling feeling.
Yeah.
So then we finally got a Ventrac machine and started mowing, and you went the same slopes that you did with a zero turn, and you felt complete stable, especially with all 8 tires touching the ground.
Yeah.
And as you kept getting better and better at the machine, understanding its limitations and what it was capable of, it allowed us to mow with a much more comfort level of being able to go up and down the banks, sideways, whatever way we really wanted to mow the banks at.
Yeah.
And then it gave a better overall look.
Yeah, you see that on some properties where a machine can almost do the job, but it can only almost do it in one spot, in one direction, one exact way. So then you end up getting the tire marks, the ruts, the grass gets killed. There, you can see the tracks of having to do work, where the Ventrac is variable enough, you can vary that up, you can change directions, you can kind of attack it in different ways and protect the look too.
Oh yeah, because you see the stripes of a finished job, not the tire marks of another machine breaking loose from where you almost got in trouble at.
Right, exactly. Well, you've done a fantastic job. I mean, all of us can say we were pretty blown away when we roll in. We go, wow, this is exactly the type of place we would showcase a machine like this. Right. Just the aesthetic looks good. The challenges of working on this property fit the Ventrac. So congratulations to you guys. This is a fantastic place, and we love all of the imagery and everything about it. And thanks for hosting us.
Thanks for coming out, because we really couldn't maintain the property the way we'd like to maintain it without having the right Ventrac machine and attachments.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.